Hey everybody, good morning and welcome back to Mad Horse Barbecue. My name is Brian, and in today's video we're gonna fire up a classic here in my grill arsenal. We're gonna fire up the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 560. It's, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's probably been, I bet you it's been close to a year since I've even pulled this thing out of the garage. And partly because when you have 24 grills, and 21 of the 24 are all stored in the addition on your garage, it's kind of hard to get to certain grills. This is one of them, unfortunately. Not that I don't like this grill. I've had super awesome luck with this grill. It's always cooked good for me. Never had any issues except a few flare-ups, which the flare-ups would be my fault. But saw it today, ended up pulling a few grills out, and this one came available, and I'm like, you know what, let's fire it up. So right now it's in the startup process. We are using B&B oak briquettes with just two small chunks of cherry wood and the actual coal basket at the bottom. And then what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do a ham. With Christmas right around the corner, I know for me growing up personally, we always had ham on Christmas Day. And yeah, we're just gonna smoke a ham. These hams that you pretty much see in all grocery stores around this time of the year, they're all pre-cooked, meaning that you could take it out of the fridge and eat it if you wanted. Or when you reheat it, you could give it a little bit of a smoke bath, one could say. And, you could double smoke it, because a lot of the hams you also, when you buy them, they're already smoked, so it's gonna be a double smoked ham. So what we got going on, like I said, this thing's filled up, it's fired up. We're gonna cook it at 250. Gonna be a super simple cook. I'm just gonna put a light coat of rub on the outside of the ham. So let me take you inside and show you how I do that. All right, we're up in the kitchen. We got this is about an 11-pound spiral sliced ham. By spiral slice, I mean if you look at it, you can see it's already somewhat pre-sliced. So when this thing's done cooking, you kind of just cut straight down. Then you got slices of ham. Like I said, pre-cooked ham. You could just eat this right now if you want cold ham. I do like cold ham, but I am going to reheat this thing / cook it first. And I am going to put a little bit of a rub on the outside. To me, anything ham or bacon is all, salty enough. So I'm going to use a rub that I like that isn't very salty to me. And the rub I'm going to use is this Blues Hog Sweet and Savory. And then we are going to use a binder because the rub isn't going to want to stick to it. And I'm going to use a little bit of Blues Hog Raspberry Chipotle for the binder. FYI, this is also going to be the glaze I'm going to use on the ham. So I'm going to go ahead, spread some sauce on it for a little binder. Pro tip 101, before you put that on there, make sure it's open first. Got her open, go ahead and get it on. It's not going to take much. Especially this raspberry chipotle is kind of sort of really sticky already, so it's going to make a good binder and it's going to make a good glaze for appearance-wise and for taste-wise, because this Blues Hog Raspberry Chipotle is one of my favorites. So now that we got that on, let's go ahead and take the rub, get a light coat of rub on it. Okay, now that we got it rubbed down, I'm just going to go ahead and let it sit out until it's time to throw on, and we'll be picking back up when we're out at the grill. All right, guys, down at the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 560. Grill is set to 250. We're going to start to cook at 250 today and just kind of see how long this thing takes to get up to temp, because we're going to want to take it to an internal temp of about 140. I think I'll double check that, but I think we're going to pull it at like 140, 145. Again, you can pull it whenever the hell you want it because this is pre-cooked, but I think when I do hams, pre-cooked hams, I usually pull them at 140. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing thrown on. You can notice I'm using one of the disposable grill toppers here. I will include the link of these in the description. They are very handy when it comes to large cuts of meat that you don't want to handle by hand, because you can just pick the rack up. You can put it right on the grill. If you want to spin it, you can spin it, and you don't have to touch the meat. So ham's on, dead center. Go ahead, close this thing down, and let her smoke. So we'll probably pick back up in about an hour or two. All right, guys, we're 2 hours into the cook. Not much going on with this cook, but go ahead and take a peek at the ham. See, there it is, looking pretty good. You can see I am monitoring the temp with the meter plus. I will leave the link for that in the description. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is just rotate this thing 180. And close her back down and keep on going. Like I said, I'm going to be putting a glaze on this. So when I start doing that, it's probably going to be like within the last hour of the cook or so. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here in just a little bit probably is get some of that barbecue sauce in a tin or a tray. Sorry, like a tin or a dish, and put it on there, because when you're doing a glaze, it spreads a lot easier, especially when it's barbecue sauce, if it's hot or warm or whatever. So I think when I pick back up is going to be when we're going to be glazing it. So like I said, 2 hours in, 250 the whole time so far. Internal temp on the ham, I think, is at like 90. So we'll check back in a little bit. All right, guys, been on for about 3 hours. We're going to start glazing this. I have had this, this is the Blues Hog Raspberry Chipotle now. Just kind of sitting on the grill for about a half hour, because like I said, The glaze works a hell of a lot better if you warm it up first. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start glazing this thing. And you can see when I put it on there how much it just kind of, you know, spreads all over the place. Not really even brushing it at this point. I'm kind of just getting it on the brush and letting it run all over. So gonna do this probably 2, maybe even 3 times, because it's got about another half hour to cook yet. So go ahead and glaze her up. Okay, that's gonna be about good. So I'm gonna go ahead, close this thing down. Right now the internal temp on the ham is right at about 120-ish, 122. I'm gonna let this go to 135, and then I'm gonna bring it in, let it rest for about 20 minutes, and then we'll be cutting into it. So when we are doing that, we will pick back up. All right, guys, we are back. This ham has been cooking for a total right around 4 hours. Brought it up to an internal of about 127 to 128, depending on where you checked it. Brought it in, let it rest for about 30 minutes. It carried over another 8-9 degrees, because when I pulled the temp sensor out, it was at about 138, 139, I suppose. And here's the finished product. So again, 250 to whole cook. You know, this is a pre-cooked ham. So again, if you wanted to take it right out of the fridge and cut some slices and make yourself a cold ham sandwich, you sure could. If you want to heat it up in your oven, you can. I just think that these things, they're already good the way they are, but throwing them on a grill and reheating them with some smoke, maybe a little bit of barbecue rub on the outside, just brings them to another level. Again, you know, we use the Blues Hog sweet and savory rub on here for the rub, and then we use the Blues Hog's Raspberry Chipotle for a glaze. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and cut into this thing and see how we did. Nice little piece right there. You know, really good flavor. There's some really good color. Let's go ahead and take a taste test. Give it a shot. That is absolutely fantastic. The glaze on the outside of that raspberry chipotle, if you haven't tried that stuff yet, by Blues Hog, I highly suggest you give that a shot. Then a little bit of barbecue rub on there too, you know, and then the added smoke is obviously just, I'll just say it's delightful. So again, you guys and girls are doing this for Christmas and you got a pellet grill or you got any kind of grill outside for that matter, I'd highly suggest doing it on there. So now besides that, I hope this video was helpful, and happy holidays. So see you next time.